Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome, Liz, first time. Welcome everybody to the online yoga studio. And I am Julie Emden. I am subbing for Lizzie Shamash, who will be back next week from vacation. And I welcome you to take the practice for whatever your body needs today. So we'll open with just a few minutes sitting with a brief theme and teaching that I'll outline, and then we'll spend most of the time on the mat. And I mentioned in the chat, there we go again. Thank you, Adi. Today's props are a strap, 2 blocks, and a blanket. Also, if you use a chair for some standing poses, a chair. So I want to offer today the practice as based on the name of the Torah portion that we are entering this week of Akev. And the root of this Hebrew word is the same as the root of Yaakov. And if you break apart the word for the letters for Yaakov's name, you have Yud Akev. And Akev means heel, same root. And I love the teaching that is brought by my dear teacher and colleague, Diane Bloomfield, that you could think of Jacob's name, Yaakov's name, and our essence as bringing God consciousness or divinity awareness into the heel, Yud Akev. And this idea of connecting today's practice via the body to divinity is also really relevant for this time of year. There's a beautiful midrash that Rabbi Jill Hammer offers on a line from Bereshit about dividing the whole year into 8 seasons. And this is the time of fruit and the time from the 15th of Av until Tishrei, Rosh Hashanah, when we are closest to divinity for Elul. And we have an upcoming shofar project that we'll announce at the end of the session today that we have more offerings for that, for practicing. So the feet and the heel, and focus today's practice on the inner heel and the inner lines up the legs for strength in our standing poses. So that's the opening. I'll drop more teachings in as we keep going through the practice. And I invite you to now come to your mats, and with your strap nearby and your blocks nearby, lying down as we did last week on our backs to open the hips and the legs. So I'll switch over. So please open your blankets, putting the screen on the yoga mat. Open your blankets so that you can lie down with the blanket underneath your head and your torso. And have a strap nearby. If you don't have a strap, it's fine. And just before we do anything, I invite you to find a centering in the mat and lying back on your torso and your head so the blanket is underneath you, and feel, if you can, the evenness side to side at the back body, the shoulder blades resting evenly. Lift the hips gently, send the tailbone away from crown of head, and release the spine back down. Now bring awareness to the feet, hips distance apart, the knees are bent. And see if it's possible to bring awareness right now to the soles of the feet, the spreading of the base of toes, and the circumference of the heels. And we'll bring that idea and that awareness through the whole practice today. Take hands, rub them together so they get a little bit warm, and place the heels of the palms on the eyes. Fingertips toward the forehead, resting front body to back body, front of the eyes to the back of the eyes. Just resting into the eye sockets a little bit, bringing your inner attention inside for the next 45 minutes for our practice. Receiving a deep, long breath, erech apayim, and releasing that. And then just take the hands and massage a little bit at the scalp, at the hairline, and then on the head, all the way around. Just taking hands to massage all the way around the scalp, behind, at the occiput, at the base of the skull, just to wake up from head to toe awareness. And then please go ahead, take the strap if you have one, and lift the right leg to the sky. Take strap at the middle of the foot and reach the foot up to the sky. Hold strap evenly in both hands. Left knee stays bent with foot on floor. Arms are extended long to hold strap near foot, and spread base of toes all the way from the middle of the foot where the toes begin. Reaching and lengthening through the inner heel as much as the outer heel. And then take strap a little bit further down at the inner heel, just at the beginning of the heel, and feel what it's like to press, to draw a little bit the strap against the foot and reach the foot up into the strap. So just waking up with the strap awareness at that inner heel at the base of the foot. Circumference of ankle and knee and hip are all aligned. And then go ahead, extend the left leg long on the floor. Let the right leg come a little bit away from the head. So the pelvis, the front of the pelvis tilts forward a little. So you feel a little lift, a little space in the lower back, the natural curve of the back. Point and flex the bottom foot on the floor, just waking up that line also of inner heel through inner knee to the inner thigh, the lesser trochanter up through spine to crown. Just waking up the legs. Go ahead, take strap into the right hand, externally rotate that leg, the top leg, the right leg, and take it out to the side 45 degrees maybe. Drawing and gathering the front ribs so that the pelvic rim faces sky, not turning the hips, keeping them forward facing. And take left arm overhead by the ear. So the whole left side of the body is a foundation. Awareness through inner heels, through inner knees, inner thighs up through spine to crown, and even through inner armpits to inner elbows and inner wrists. This whole inner body. Sfat Emet speaks of nikudat pnimiyut, this point of inwardness. Thinking the whole inner lines of the legs and arms right now. Then bring leg up to the sky, bend the left knee, take the strap into the left hand so your right leg is facing straight up to the sky, and then let the entire lower body turn to the left for a gentle twist. The left knee comes to floor, and the right leg extends long up at 45 degrees again, outer hip to outer knee to outer ankle. So the left knee's on the floor. It's a gentle little twist over to the left. Right leg's extended up through 45-degree angle, just a little bit over the body. Right arm is open, palm facing up. And then come back to center. Take your left leg up to the strap with the right. Strap is based at the midfoot. And then release the right leg. Hold strap on the left foot. The right knee is bent, right foot comes to floor, and hands, arms are extended long, holding strap around up close to the foot, and the strap is at mid-foot for the first moment, extending the toes, maybe point and flex, even at the foot that's raised. And settle back the femur into the hip joint so you feel this lengthening of the hamstrings and this line of energy through inner heel, inner knee, and innermost point of the thigh, nikudat pnimiyut of the thigh, the lesser trochanter. And then bring strap to the top of the inner heel, just a little lower. So you really feel that snug awareness of where the heel begins. Yud Akev, bringing divinity consciousness into the heel. And then go ahead, extend that right leg long on the floor. The top leg might come a little further away from you. So there's space at the lower back for the natural curve. And point and flex the bottom foot, just opening the front of the leg and back of the leg. And let this idea of energy coming up from the heels, from the innermost ankle through knee, through inner leg as an idea of energy coming even as we're lying on the floor on the back. Take strap in the left hand, release the right, externally rotate the whole leg from the femur, that left leg, and take it out 45 degrees, no more. So you're feeling that opening through the inner leg on the left, but you're staying with hip points facing sky. Firming and lengthening the back of the right leg on the floor as your foundation. Take right arm overhead by the ear, upper arm by ear, palm facing in. So the whole right side of the body is one long line, a foundation for the posture. Receiving the breath, nishmat chayim, the breath of life, as you continually refresh and renew the oxygen in the lungs. Then bend the right knee and take the foot and leg up to the sky once more. Take strap into the right hand. Left leg is still the one that's up facing the sky. And turn the hips both all the way to the right, gently and slowly. The right leg just falls to the floor, resting, and the left leg is extended up at 45 degrees. Strap is around the bottom of the foot still, and you're just firming at outer upper thigh, greater trochanter to outer knee to outer ankle, lengthening inner leg as evenly. So the whole circumference of the leg is evenly lengthening. Your left arm can open if you want, palm facing up, so you feel the whole side body through armpit, chest, all the way through elbow to the wrist, opening. Then come back to center. Release the strap in both feet and just lift both knees up, walking them a little bit, dancing the feet, like you're riding a bicycle maybe, just waking up the legs a little bit. And then let's go ahead once more, extend the right leg up to the sky with the left foot on the floor, knee bent, just like we did, but without the strap. Take hands to hip points so that the side waists are long and even. Externally rotate the right leg, cross the leg in front of the left knee for a figure four or eye of the needle. The right knee is at a right angle, and then draw both thighs toward you, keeping sideways long. And you can keep hands on hip points, or you can take strap behind the left thigh or hands behind the left thigh. Figure four with an open space, just opening the outer hip. And noting the shape of your feet in this posture right now, noting the lines of energy from feet all the way through hips to crown of head, that the whole body's connected. Lift and lower the leg behind, the left leg, just to wake it up a little. And then place that left foot on the floor, extend the right leg back up to the sky, put both feet on the floor and switch, second side. So right foot stays on floor, right knee bent, extend left leg all the way to sky. Rakhea, the expanse of the sky, is reflected in the sole of the foot, expanding and opening. Then externally rotate out to the side and cross that left leg in front. Again, take care of your own bodies if this is right for you. Some of us have surgeries or injuries, so please only listen to what's right for your body. Sideways long and hinge both legs up toward the chest if that's right for you for a hip opener. Eye of the needle or figure 4. Hands come behind the right thigh or strap behind right thigh. Sideways even and long. And once more, why don't circle both ankles, both feet, just waking up the feet a little bit. And then open and extend, lengthen and fold the leg behind, the right leg. Then place the right foot on floor and go ahead and extend left leg back up through a straight lifted leg up to the sky. Place that foot down on the floor and roll to your right side. Use your hands to come on up to sitting. Come on up to sitting and take a blanket or any lift. You could use blocks also to sit up on a height. So I'm folding my blanket twice. You may even use 2 blankets or use a chair for this. And bring one of your blocks in front of you. We're just going to take a moment to massage the foot. So the right leg is free and the left leg is down on the floor. Any way that's comfortable for you, can be bent or straight. And taking that right foot with the angle in front of you, just as we did with the figure 4, go ahead and massage the bottom of the foot. So we're going to wake up and warm the softness of the bottom of the foot. Last week we worked with chesed and softening and flow, and taking the fingers at the base of toes and really taking time to wake up each toe, lengthening, pressing at the spaces between the toes. The metatarsals go all the way to the midfoot. The toe bone really begins there. And then if it's even possible for you, you can try to put the fingers of your left hand between the toes and circle the ankle joint one way or another. So you're really spreading the toes. And then with the thumbs, massaging all the way down, really pressing at the front of the heel and feeling where the pad of the heel becomes soft and where there's really space to press in at the front of the heel. Then maybe taking fingers to the inner ankle and taking a moment to just press all the way the inner line from ankle to inner knee. This is for plantar fasciitis. If any of you have it, this is an amazing everyday remedy. Okay, so before we do the second side, I invite you to come to all fours and step one foot and the other up and stand for a moment. Stand for a moment in mountain pose with the awareness of that first foot that we just massaged, and feel if there's a difference, drawing energy all the way up through inner arches of the feet, to the inner knees, to the inner thighs, up through the spine to crown of head. And notice any quality of sending energy into that right side. Notice the whole right side and what might be different with that softening into the earth. And then please come on down to second side. You can sit in a chair to do the second side also. And we're just taking that left foot at a right angle and massaging the foot. And really, truly, if we did this every day before we practice, there's a groundedness, there's a benefit to our connection to the earth, drawing divinity through the heels. So go ahead, massage the toes, massage base of toes, find spaces between the long metatarsal bones. Moving the fingers down, and then take, if this is right for you, your fingers between the toes. So the palm of the hand faces the sole of the foot, and this index finger, middle finger, each finger goes between the toes, if possible, even just a little bit, and circling ankle joint one way and the other. Just waking up the aliveness, connecting the whole foot through this warm up. And then massaging, releasing that, massaging all the way through the sole of foot to that very tender spot at the front of the heel pad, at the front of the pad of the foot. Note where you can really massage in to that front of the heel, and we'll be focused on that part when we're standing the foot. Then last, take the thumbs at the inner ankle and just, there's a place where you can massage up the inner lower leg, up to the inner knee and down again. You might really note a tender spot there. It's between the bone and the flesh, really, of the calf muscle. You can feel, I can feel it. I don't know. Hopefully you can too. My goodness. And then, okay, lower legs are ready. Let's take our next little sequence. We'll open the blanket, midway, halfway open, midway at the mat. Take 2 blocks at the front of the mat. Take left foot forward and right leg back for a runner's lunge. The blocks are not necessary. If you have them, you can take them at a height that is best for you, just as long as they're under the shoulders. So you feel this alignment of index fingers parallel, heels of the hands soften into the blocks, lifting thighs, separating them for runner's lunge, and find that length from inner heel through inner knee, inner leg, all the way through crown. Lifting and gathering hip points and solar plexus into the body, drawing close. We just read of verbs of standing and gathering close in Ve'et Hanan, our last week's portion. And go ahead and take the whole front body, turn toward the bent knee for a gentle twist, top arm overhead. Twisting toward the bent front knee in a runner's lunge, top arm overhead. Lifting and lengthening through leg, spine, all the way crown through fingers. And then take arm straight up overhead. See if you can lift the whole body up off of the floor a little bit, off of the blocks. So there's lifting energy from the heels to the sky, to the heart of heavens, Lev Hashemayim. Releasing left arm down. Release that right knee onto the blanket. Toes are turned under. And then release the top of the foot at the back so the toes rest. And for a high lunge, walk the blocks back and lift the hip points up off of the legs just for a very gentle opening high lunge. Hands on blocks, walking them under shoulders. Release blocks forward once more. Front leg comes to the back, come to all fours, and up to downward dog. Your first downward dog. Lifting and lengthening the weight of the body up to the legs. Yes. And right now, see if you can, in your down dog, or you may have hands on chair, if that's better for you, to not have the head below the arms. Lifting and lengthening up and back. Find the inner heels, find the inner ankles, the inner legs as your strength. Yes, in the posture. Similarly, the inner palms, the inner heels of the hand. So the whole awareness for your down dog is the inner arms and the inner legs. Then please swing or walk the right leg forward, runner's lunge on second side, hands on blocks or floor. The right knee is at a right angle, lifted leg at the back, one long open channel. Nikavim, nikavim, chalulim, chalulim, these open channels and vessels in the body that allow us to live. Find that whole back leg as an open channel, sending energy from inner leg up through to head and spine. Then take left hand to the block or floor and lift and gather ribs to turn to the right toward the bent leg, top arm over. Right knee is over the right ankle. First, the arm is up by the ear, this whole long line of energy from the inner leg through inner arm, Yud Akev. And then raise the arm up high, the top arm, just so there's one long line of the arms, one open channel. Shoulder blades resting at the back body, further back, opening the front of the heart. And release the hand down. Release that back knee, top of toes rest back. If you have blocks, turn them to a higher height and bring them under shoulders, finding the weight centered at the spine, at the hip points, hip points are gathering in, so you're not sinking in the groins, but lifting. If you want, you can raise the arms overhead for this high lunge, but may also just keep the spine and chest lifted, the sternum lifted to the heart of heaven. The flames are described at Mount Sinai as having reached the heart of heaven. Then go ahead, release. We'll take another downward dog. Take right leg back. Set it up from all fours. So hands are under shoulders. Knees are under hips. Align the index fingers with sides of mat and turn toes under. Lift up and back. Wide legs, wide feet. And send the whole pelvic bowl up and back. For down dog. Taking your down dog. Yes. Bring the weight all the way up and back and let there be a line of soft energy through the inner armpits. Beautiful. Good. And then everyone, please go ahead, release for a moment in child's pose and rest if that's good for you. If you need to keep moving through a little flow, take more action if you need, but resting with the palms under the forehead, knees as wide as torso. Just feeling the shape of the seed as we approach Rosh Hashanah in this next phase of the calendar, this inwardness for Elul. Then use hands to come up once more to all fours. Walk the right foot between the hands and then the left, and slowly hinge with soft knees. Hinge or roll up to standing, all the way standing to mountain pose. Remove blanket from your mat. If you use a chair for standing poses, I invite you to grab a chair. We're going to take warrior three, very gentle warrior three, and tree pose, and warrior one. So first, facing, come to the very, very edge of your mat, facing the narrow side, and standing in mountain pose. Feeling once more the spreading of base of toes, softening into the floor, the circumference of the heel pad softening into the floor, and drawing that energy as if there's a well of living waters, air beneath you, from that source of living energy in the earth. Raise the arms overhead, facing one another, upper arms by the ears. Lift the right leg and take it back at a slight angle for warrior one. Left knee is forward, bent at a right angle. Arms up by the ears, warrior one. Feet are hips distance apart. Lifting sternum to the heart of heaven and feeling that length, that curve of energy all the way from the inner back heel up through leg, through to fingers. Then gently lift up by pressing into the toes of the back foot. Come up through a standing bent leg to a very gentle warrior three. Hinging just a little bit. Back leg is lifted, straight. Standing leg is slightly bent. It's just a very gentle, hinged, not all the way, warrior three. And then, with the help of a chair or wall if you want, bring that back leg to the standing left thigh for tree pose. Tree pose is with the right foot against the inner left thigh. Arms up by the ears, palms facing inward. When you're ready, release the hands, release the leg, and standing in mountain pose for just a moment. Feeling the width of the back body, the length of the spine. In this tour portion, there's a speaking of the ancestors and of all that we've done, all that we're experiencing right now, the way being paved by our ancestors. So the back body as our ancestors supporting us. Wide shoulder blades, rib basket resting into them. Then release Tadasana, come for second side. The same facing at the end of the mat. And we'll raise the arms from the sending down of the heels into the earth. Yud Ekev, connecting heaven and earth. And then go ahead, lift that left leg, send it back for warrior one. Arms up high. If that's right for your body, always listening to what's right for you. Right knee is bent. Knee over ankle, warrior one. Feet are hips distance apart. Back leg is slightly turned out. And lifting the sternum to the heart of heaven. Lev Hashemayim. Raising and sending at the same time. And when you're ready, just begin to play with shifting the weight forward onto that standing leg. You can take a chair for balance just next to you or raise arms. Back leg is lifted. Just slightly so you have a slight angle, extending from inner legs through inner arms, this long line of energy, then come into tree pose. Using a wall or chair if you like, using hand to help you place that left foot at the inner thigh, then arms raising up. Feel that equal and opposite. Press a foot against thigh, sending inner heel up through the legs to fingers. Base of toes and circumference of heel sending down. Releasing when you're ready. Staying with the pose if you want for another breath. Then releasing the leg and coming once more to a right angle on the chair or a downward dog on the floor. Your choice. The strong legs, the soft feet as your support. And then we'll rest once more in child's pose. Take a blanket if you like under the lower legs or the tops of the feet. Come over the edge. Knees are as wide as torso. And resting the belly snug between the thighs, really releasing the forehead. Letting the body soften into the earth as rains soften into dry land. And releasing with the breath anything that needs to rest into the earth at this moment. Just letting go and softening. And then use hands to come on up to sitting. Take your time. And we'll take once more this folded blanket and fold it twice so you have a high lift. And you might even want a block as well under the blanket. You'll see when you take the sitting twist. We're going to take a twist we took last week. So you'll come sit at the very forward edge of the folded blanket, extend the right leg long, and lift that bent left foot to bring it close in. The heel comes very close in to the sits bones, and lift hips, send the right leg so the sits bone comes off. So you're turning with asymmetry. So the left sit bone is forward of the folded blanket, and with the pelvic bowl and the heart facing as one, we'll turn toward the bent knee for a sitting twist. There is a long line of energy, and the engine for the twist is from the inner heel through inner leg of your long extended leg on the floor. So thinking still continually as drawing energy through that strong inner leg. Then you can rest the ribs into the back body, into the shoulder blades, and feel the support behind you. Every single inhalation lengthens the spine, and every exhale widens at the back body. And then we'll release the torso forward, extend both legs for a moment, and then bend the right knee, fold that leg, bring that heel close in, extend the left leg, lift hips, send that long leg forward so the sits bone comes off the folded mat, and you can walk this foot out as much as you need of the bent leg. Go ahead, wrap around in front, turning toward the bent leg so it's really evenly aligned, the hips and the heart, keva and kavana as one, raza de achad, the secret of oneness. The torso and hips are facing the same direction. Knees and toes of that straight left leg are facing the sky. And right now, bring energy and awareness into the heel as if you're standing on that long standing leg. Letting the posture of the twist draw you inward to yourself, settle you, and lengthen you. And then release the torso forward and set yourself up for a final rest with a blanket open under the head at whatever height is best for you. And you may lie back if you want. You can use the lower legs on a chair for this final little resting pose. Not necessary. You can also just lie all the way down, letting the whole back body be received by the floor, by the earth. Haaretz, ha'adama. And releasing all effort from the practice. Noticing even as you rest here, if there's a deep inhalation that you can take and then a release even further of any tension, any holding, and we'll rest here together for a couple of minutes. And then receiving a deep inhalation, Nishmat Chayim, the breath of life. Draw the knees into the chest and roll to the right side and rest just for half a minute. Feeling the resting of the folded body. If you want to stay resting in Shavasana, you may stay, of course. If you're ready to come up, use your hands to come up to sitting. We'll sit on a little bit of a lifted blanket. And just take a moment to feel, even here, maybe touch the bottoms of the feet. These gorgeously constructed parts of the body that carry us. And feeling the wide collarbones, the long spine, resting hands completely. Feeling the open heart lifted, sternum lifted. We'll close with a wish for greeting each one of us in our divinity with the phrase from Bereshit, B'Tselem Elokim. I'll say it once. We can say it in our hearts to one another, B'Tselem Elokim. Thank you all for joining. We just have one announcement. Lizzie will be back next week. 2 announcements. And also we want to announce that the registration is now open for the Shofar Project. This is a beautiful free online course for the month of Elul leading up to Rosh Hashanah. And it begins August 8th. And there's information. I think Adi's going to put it in there again. There we are. So it's a great opportunity to study with yoga and meditation and text study, and the registration link is in the chat. We'll end the practice now, and I'll stay for 15 minutes for questions, but I want to release those of you who are ready to go on to the next thing. And yes, I'm Julie Emden, and I have a website. You can Google my name, Julie Emden. I have classes all the time. I teach for IJS, but I also have a beautiful network of teachers and leaders of embodied Jewish wisdom, guides, like many of you who are bringing a little bit of embodiment into your communities. So please go check it out. It's Embodied Jewish Learning or Julie Emden. If you just use my name, you'll find me. Thanks, everyone.